What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Subriel Matias versus Jeremias Ponce. What do we think about this fight? We've had some good fights already in the year. This is going to be a very good matchup as well. So let's get into it. Let's start with Subriel Matias, 18 wins, 1 loss, 18 wins by way of knockout. With the exception of one fight, all his fights have not gone the distance. He avenged his loss and got redemption for that loss on his record in his most recent fight that we'll get into very shortly. But Matias, he's a bad boy, man. I mean, he's got power. He's a big puncher. He's a pressure fighter. He's constantly coming forward, consistently coming forward, throwing punches, and that can just weigh you down. He wears down his opponents because they have to move so much to keep him off of them. He makes his opponents use their energy, tire out their legs before he really starts locking in on his attack. He's not always going to throw a lot of punches early in the rounds. He's trying to find the right shots because all he needs is one right shot that can stumble you. He's a very heavy puncher and accurate with the shots when he does start to get confident to let his hands go as the fight goes on. 13 of his fights have ended before the 6th round. Right? His shots don't always look like much, but everything just adds up, right? He'll hit you to the arm, the chest, the ribs, the head, the shoulder. He punches through you, not just at you. He really finishes his punches. Now, defensively, he's not the strongest defensive fighter, right? To me, his offense is kind of his defense. He's going to punch through everything rather than being more of a defensively responsible fighter, right? He's not the best at cutting off the ring as well, but his style works for him, right? Let's go back a few fights before his first loss of his career when he fought Maxim Dadashev. Dadashev was giving him some problems early in the fight, right? He was using his feet to keep the distance, using his jab, keeping Matias turning around the ring and not staying in front of him and not staying in one position. He was doing some very good work, in my opinion, but Matias, his conditioning is one of his strengths, man. His conditioning is outstanding, right? He never stopped bringing the pressure. He just kept coming forward, punching through each step. And in that fight after the 5th round, Matias kind of took over in a way, and it started to get kind of ugly, right? Because a lot of those shots were starting to come through and it was starting to hit cleanly, whether it was to the head or whether it was to the body. You could see Dadashev's chest and body was starting to get a lot more red. He got hit with some punishing shots that fight, but I thought Dadashev had the right game plan, right? Try and tire out Matias outbox him, keep the distance, work in spots, let off combinations when you can, but not force the fight and not fight his fight. And while he was doing that, his output and energy kind of started to slow down and it started to fade a little bit. But I thought he fought very well in that fight. And unfortunately, Dadashev passed away, right, a few days after that fight. And I just want to say this, right? Like every sport, you can get hurt in every single sport. I ran track and field and, I tore my quad in 4 different places. That was one of my toughest injuries, but no sport is really as dangerous as football and as boxing. And anytime you step inside of a boxing ring, man, it's a dangerous fight. And these guys are risking their lives every single time that they're in there. And so, I just want to take a quick moment as just to pay a little bit of respect for Dadashev before we continue this breakdown. Now, the following year, Matias fights the Armenian Petros Ananayan and suffers his first loss, right? Ananayan is a solid fighter with an extensive amateur pedigree. I think his record was like 220-60. I could be wrong there, but somewhere around there. I knew he fought a lot of amateur fights and had a lot of success, right? Very well decorated in that regard. I remember most about their fight, the first one, was just really a lot of clean punches landing for both men, right? Some rounds were close, but that was a fight in which Ananayan didn't back down from Matias' style of fighting, right? Usually Matias is the one who was coming forward, and he's the one that's bullying his opponents. But Ananayan, he didn't back down. He stood his ground. 7th round came, and Ananayan was awarded a knockdown in that fight. And I think that was what got him the win. You know, those 10-8 rounds at the wrong time messes everything up. Plus, you never know how the refs are judging it. But that was a very crucial round for Ananayan. After Matias suffers his first loss, he wins his next 2 fights by stoppage and gets the rematch against Ananayan again, which was his most recent fight last year. And honestly, to me, that fight looked like a very similar fight to the first one. Heavy punches of aggressive style, very little defense, right inside the pocket type of fight. Matias looked much better conditioning-wise in that fight than he did the first time, right? He wears people down, and that's what he did in that rematch. And I think if they were to fight again, it would be a similar outcome for Matias coming out on the other side as the winner, in my opinion. Credit to Ananayan for lasting as much as he did, because I thought in the second fight, man, I thought it was going to be done after 7 rounds. He took a lot of punishment in that fight, but it was a very good fight. Matias is a tough night for anyone in that division, and I think he just gets more confident with every single fight. As the fight goes on, you can definitely see the confidence, and the man always comes in great shape, and I think the loss just kind of rejuvenated him, and he's going to be looking to continue that winning streak. He is a tough night for anyone, and Jeremias Ponce has his hands full this weekend. If he can't keep Matias off of him, it's going to be a long, punishing night. But let's talk about his opponent, Jeremias Ponce. 30 wins, 0 losses, 20 wins by way of knockout. He's fought a good portion of his fight in Argentina. In his last 3 fights, he's gotten wins by way of stoppage, including a win against Louis Ritson, who has a solid record of 21-1 before their matchup. Ponce is a guy who, just like Matias, can operate at a high work rate, high volume. He throws a lot of heavy punches, not too many jabs, but a lot of punches in between, right? He stays in the pocket. He likes to bang with you. He's got good height, good reach, and that helps him hit his opponents from different angles, right? He can loop his shots. He can catch you to the body. He can loop around your high guard, right? He can hook left, hook right. He's accurate with the shots too. He's got a whole bunch of different ways that his reach can help him, give him an advantage in this fight. When he fought Louis Ritson, he was pressuring him and punching him all night, right? Everything was right in the pocket, meeting him in the middle of the ring, mixing up the combinations from in close, that mid-range in close distance, right? Out of there, man, he was hitting short uppercuts, right hooks to the body. I was like, either this guy is incredibly well conditioned, or he is going to fold and get tired later in the fight, and he is going to pay. But that wasn't the case. I mean, the man kept that same consistency, that same energy, that same output. I would say the punching power kind of backed off, but he was still throwing some shots that if you were caught slipping, it may have stumbled you in that fight. But the man has very high work rate, very well conditioned. And he's a guy who's going to stand there and make sure that if you're coming in with a shot, that you're going to leave with a shot as well too. He's consistent, very consistent throughout his fights. Defensively though, he's similar to Matias in that forefront, right? They don't have the best defense. Their defense is their offense, and they stick to you so much that it smothers some of your work rate, right? I felt like against Ritson, he could have gotten the stoppage if he just took a moment to slow it down, right? And look at the targets that were opening, right? Gather himself and add a little bit more tactical approach to it. I think he was trying to force the knockout, but it wasn't there, and he wasn't able to get it, which is interesting because I've seen fights where he boxed on the outside and showcased some of that different skill set that he does have. And so it'll be interesting to see how this fight unfolds, what style that he does come with. But I have no doubt that at some point in this fight, a fight is going to break out, and they're going to stand there and trade shots. And it's going to be who has more will, who can endure more, who is punching more. And I think that is going to be something to keep in mind and to look for, right? So who wins? I'm not expecting a lot of great defense in this fight. I'm expecting high intensity, high work rate, lots of power punches, body punches, headshots, a lot of punches in general being thrown. Styles make fights, and this is a style that I think walks into Matias's style of fight. He's not going to have to do much cutting off the ring, not a whole lot of movement he's going to have to do. Ponce is going to be there, and so will Matias. I'm taking Subriel Matias by knockout in this fight. While Ponce can match the work rate, and he has 20 wins by stoppage, I don't think he will be able to keep up with that type of power and heavy-handedness of Matias for 12 rounds. So I got Matias winning this one by probably a late stoppage. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comments section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Shout out to Ali Point TV for the donation. I appreciate you, man. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.